Is this your first time at the MCM Expo?
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's an Oreo of binary numbers.
What do you think of this event? How's it taken to you?
I was here 3 years ago, and it's expanded quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
but it's very fun. It's cool. There's a lot of really cool fans that we've gotten to meet, I think.
There's a heavier anime element to it than the conventions that we've seen. And different from sort of the European stuff and the American stuff, a lot of men cross-dressing. Which have you noticed that?
Yes,
a lot of dudes in dresses here.
Yeah, which my character Vincent probably wouldn't mind too much. Not saying anything about that, though. Yeah, it's been great. It was a really well-organized event from the beginning until now, the end. Yeah.
And so how do you find meeting the fans face-to-face? What's it like for you?
I love it. I mean, these are the people who keep us doing what we do. So for me, it's an absolute pleasure, and to get insight on what are the specific things they like, because it's hard to know unless you talk to them. So it's great.
They're also very, very honest, which is nice sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes not.
Like sometimes.
No, I kind of like it.
You
It's
like it?
refreshing. I feel like there's so many people that are constantly like, good, yes. And then
Yeah,
there's
yes,
the
man.
people who actually are like, I didn't like what you did in that episode.
You're like, oh,
Thank you. All right. Good to know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
I find for me, it's sort of the completion of the circuit, as it will. I mean, what we do is usually audience-driven. You perform for people, and we make it without an audience. So it's sort of in meeting the audience, you complete the cycle of what it's supposed to be. And it really feels that way, too. You sort of get back what you put out, and you're like, yeah!
I hadn't
That's exactly what we were going
I
for.
hadn't looked at it that way, but it is. It's like
Yeah.
going out to the reception after a theater.
Yeah.
After a show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
it's working.
Yeah.
Or like when you're doing a show and you get to see how the audience is reacting.
Yeah.
Okay, they're playing off that joke, they're not playing off that joke. And you sort of
because
gauge.
they do give you specific details. I mean,
Yeah.
sci-fi fans specifically are so very savvy, and they will. But like Jordan says, they'll call you on the stuff that you're doing wrong, and it's like, oh
Absolutely.
yeah, okay, I'll let them know.
But it is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you the kind of flip side of what I asked him yesterday, which was it like being directed by him?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Really though,
Take
really.
some time to think about it.
Oh, well, now that I'm
No,
really...
I'm not being ass-kissy. I don't think. He knows what he wants, and there's times when people don't necessarily know what they want, and Colin is a guy who knows what he wants. You were very quick, and it was all professional, and I love that. I love getting direction, and I love going through stuff, and all of those things Colin had. So,
We have a group of actors, too, who, I mean, like, they can do so much. So it's not about can you do this or can you do this. It's more about saying, this is what I need. You throw that out to the actors that we have, and they go, oh, okay, I can give you this version of that, or this version of that, or this version of that. Like, it's within what you need, there are multiple options.
It's also working with him for, the past few years, you start to learn what works and what doesn't on the show. And, I mean, him directing is just pretty much the same as us acting together, because there's still the chemistry of what he needs, and me saying I think it should go this way or whatever, and it always sort of works out in the end. I think.
Yeah, there's a bit of a shorthand too. There's not this renegotiating, because you have a lot of different directors, and if it's somebody it's easy just to go to get what they want when they ask for it.
It's like one of the things that goes on a lot is the writers come up and they're always a little taken aback by our shorthand because. It's sort of like, okay, we need, we don't have enough shoe leather to get from here to here, so we can drop the beat here, that can double for that, we can move this, and everyone's sort of watching the ping pong ball go back across, and it's like, good, we're good to shoot.
Are you sure?
No, we got it, we cleaned it, we just...
Yeah, we tightened it up.
Colin, your character's finally hooked up with Ellison in the show.
Yeah, I did.
Everyone's always wanted it. Are you excited about the
Sorry.
except for this guy next to me?
All the guy on the other side.
Are you looking forward to the storyline development with that? Two characters?
Yeah, what I like about what I've done in the back 10 is it's not... my concern was that it was going to turn into sort of some relationship show. Like, oh, are we, aren't we? Which I just loathe.
Or who's sleeping with who, that whole...
More what we wanted to do is sort of have those moments at work and facilitate the plot through it. Not sort of have these really separate weird moments where all of a sudden I'm doing dishes going, she hurt my feelings. Blow my brains out of them on that show.
It can digress that quickly though. That happens. When they get into a relationship, it alters it 100%, and you lose that tenacity and that.
You've seen it done so many times.
Yeah.
You're disappointed every time you see it. Like the catch
and
is
they
over
still
and-
go to that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
still always fall back.
Absolutely.
Well, it's also funny as a writer thing because you'd think that the conflict is what makes a story. It's always about conflict. So then you get them together, and all of a sudden it seems like, well, that we can't have them conflict because they're a couple.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just my psycho life, but every relationship I've been in has just been
have its
it's
conflicts.
constant conflict where like
Yeah.
you love each other, but like I will also strangle you. If that keeps going.
You want me to make what sacrifice?
Yeah, it's like, whoa,
see
my
about that.
enemy wouldn't ask me to make that sacrifice. You're my lover.
And this is still for you. What's been your favourite episode to shoot?
We were actually just talking about this at the
Yeah.
panel. The
Which
one that
obviously you didn't go to.
whatever. I shot an episode
And
recently.
this is over. Please continue.
I shot an episode recently called Omega Girls, which is yet to come on, and it's been the first episode where I feel like I have sort of got to kick some ass and go around and sort things out. And
Jordan was the A plot in that one. She was the entirety of the A plot. She solves the story. She drove the plot.
it's
She
like
was the
taking after
engine.
my daddy, you know?
Exactly.
You guys.
I think mine was Purple Haze, and taking a page out of her book, I got to kick ass.
Yeah.
And normally Vincent doesn't. Normally he's pretty amicable with everybody, and in this episode he got to smash steaks and plates over people's head, and it was fun just to be super catty because he's
Oh,
always
yeah.
so nice, and it was fun to play that. It was cathartic.
What about you, Colin? What's been your favourite episode?
I remember the games people play as being one of my favorite. That was probably because it was you and me the whole time.
Which one was
that?
that?
Was the go into your head with
Oh,
the
yes, yes,
with the
yes.
thing. And our friend JoJo wrote that. So and there's a whole story behind that episode and how it got written and her writing it basically on spec. Like they pitched the outline and they said no, we don't want it, and she went off on her own. And
Wow.
wrote the episode.
I had no
and,
idea. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she went on her own and wrote the episode and said, "I think you do," and presented it. And they read it and said, "Yeah, we do actually. That's amazing." So there was. I was really proud of her for
That's
that.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's taking a lot of risk for them to just
putting yourself
you
out
know.
there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. So that's one of my favorites. And then a lot of them this year. The Up in the Air, the one that we did this year, which explains the poster. With everything up in the air, all the buildings. So that's the episode that has to do with that. And they always wanted to get to that, so that they got to it was sort of a nice. And also, Jordan had more pressure than any of us because she came on the show as the only person underage. Right, she was a teenager on the show. So what she got that none of us had to deal with, and this is definitely for younger people, is the directors would tell her what to do, like they would tell us what to do, and we might go, yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. But when Jordan said no, it would always be. Yeah, honey. And she got it was really head to head. And so as a young person, she has to ironically has to have more sense of self than, and she does have more sense of self than
Which is
I ever will.
interesting because you get thank you. You get pinned as a diva many a times
Yeah.
when you just have an opinion about how you want to do a scene. And I mean it's it's completely common, you get used to it after a while, but it's still like this thing inside of you, like I can't control this. I'm so young, nobody's going to want to hear my voice, but you just sort of have to force it straight down their throats.
And also with young people particularly, you have, and what you have to understand as a young person is that the person who's writing it is older. They're probably in their mid-30s, 40s, and they don't actually know what it is to be a teenager right now. So you bring something. You're about as far from them as anybody can get. So.